Alright, so this is the second part of Habit 2. The first part, if you haven't watched it, go watch that. That's about like structuring your business, so that way you kind of work, from figuring out what you want and then working your way backwards, so that way you can make daily plans and weekly plans to like for your targets and things like that. This one is going beyond the business side of things, so this is really going on to like what kind of person do you want to be, which is really important because a quote that comes up to mind is from Tony Robbins, and it's his quote is, "Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure." And I personally have felt the effects of this. And it's because my entire life, I was never wealthy, middle class, but basically always broke. And so my number one thing was make more money, because you figure once you have the money, then you'll be happy. But the amazing part is that saying, money doesn't buy happiness. It's true. Never would have believed it, but it's true. And because what ended up happening is, again, if you don't know my story, I used to work like 80 plus hours a week, and then I got down to like 30, and I had more money in the bank than I used to, and didn't have to check my account every other minute, and everything else. So everything pointed to like life getting better, but I still wasn't happy. And so what happened is, when I was fighting and working towards making money, and I finally got to that point, and I'm working less and earning more, and I still wasn't happy. It's like, well, shit, like, what do I do now? Like, everything I've been doing for the past, basically I was working since I was 15, so basically for the last 20 years, my number one thing was just work and everything else, and like, I'm still not happy. Now, what do I do from there? And what happened is I needed to do a lot of soul searching and realize that when you make those statements of going back to the first habit, I'll be happy when or when I get this, or when I have that, or whatever, and it's really not the case. And it's really, you need to find happiness without all that stuff, because like there's always going to be, you might get to that point, or you will get to that point, but because you think that some outside force is going to make you happy, it doesn't. So that's where starting with the end in mind is really more than just the business side of things, but what do you really want your life to look at like? So, like, how many hours do you want to work? Do you enjoy working? Or is this something where you'd rather have the income so that way you can go and do something else? Is this, what's important to you? Is it the family time? Do you want to be your kid's baseball or softball coach? Do you want to be known for growing the biggest business, or do you want to be known for the contribution that you gave back? There's so many different things, and unless you have this, clear picture of the person you want to work towards, well, then you're kind of just going like aimlessly through life, and you're never going to get to the place where you really want to be. So it's really important to like dive down. What I think I need to do is make a spreadsheet, not just for you guys, but for myself as well, to really narrow this down, what your life is going to look like, personally and professionally, and also like on the mentally side and everything else, because it's super important. And like I said, I am not perfect. I definitely I have a lot of faults. And the stuff I talk about on this channel, a lot of times I do it, but like there's a good 20% of the time where I don't even follow my own advice, and because of that I run into issues. So it's kind of like one of those, do what I say, not what I do kind of deal. So anyway, trying to think what else. I think that's really about it. About halfway through the chapter, if anything else pops into mind, I'll have a third video. And yeah,